Alright, I just want to have this newer Sanitaire talk because I feel like anywhere, any Sanitaires from Electrolux or Bissell just get a buttload of criticism that I feel like is a bit unnecessary. Because people are saying these are like garbage compared to the old Sanitaires, and I'm not going to argue that they're made cheaper a little bit, but I mean these things, but they're not made any less cheaper than what the other vacuum brands have gone with. Kirby's have gone cheaper, Rainbows have gone cheaper, Royal has gone cheaper. I mean, look what happened to Royals, the all metal uprights. When they tried to not go cheap with them, they were discontinued. And then there was all the other brands out there. I mean, I think pretty much every vacuum brand out there has gone a cheaper route. Windsor's have gone cheaper. And I just wanted to go but Sanitaire I think is one of the ones that has gotten the most criticism for going cheaper. And I just wanted to show that they still pack a lot of quality, just as much quality as like a lot of other vacuums out there. The bags are just as quality as they used to be. I know these two are from the Eureka era, but they still make them out of the same material, so they're still just as good as they used to be. The only thing I wish they didn't do is make this little guard here thinner, but it's not too much of a downside. I'd rather take that than make it out of a different material. Let's take a look at the brushables. These Vibragroomer 2s still last a long time. I've been using both of these brushables for over a year now, and these are still the original brushables that came with these units. I've had to replace the brush strips, but that's because I vacuumed thousands of square feet. These belts have been in here, but these, I only have to change the belts every 1 to 2 months. I do not have to change these belts too often. A lot of people, I think, over-exaggerate on how often they have to replace them. Now, on thicker pile carpet, you may have to replace them more, but on commercial carpet, you don't have to replace them as much. These fans. I mean, on these vacuums, I've sucked up little beads, even a screw once in this fan, and look at this fan. It's in great shape. Nothing was harmed. A long screw, and it didn't damage anything. Well, it left a dent, but it didn't damage anything really to a really extent. I mean, I'm still using it after several months. And as I said, same brush rolls. So Sanitaire fans are still super tough. They're really tough. You really have to do a boatload of sucking up stuff to really dent them. And their bumpers are still just as good as they used to be. Maybe not from the Type A or Type B's, but from like the Type E on up, they're still just as good. And the hoods, they rust just like the old ones. They just got a different labeling. The dial-in apps are still just as good as they used to be, just different labeling. Personally, I like it more. The cords are actually better. Bissell actually did an upgrade where you can change the cords out. I actually like that. Bissell gets props for that. The motors in these, I want to talk about the motors because a lot of people hate the sound of them. I personally think the motors are just as functional as the old ones used to be. Maybe a little bit lacking, maybe not as, I've seen some motors wear down from sand, but that's pretty rare. That's a rare thing to see. I've seen several Sanitaires that have picked up lots of sand at the vacuum center, and only very few of them have had that. That's kind of a rare thing. And then, yeah, so as I put these guys through heavy use, and I mean, these motors, they might not sound the best compared to their old ones, but they're still just as functional. I've seen these motors go up to 8 to 10 years old and still working. And really, I think most cases where these motors go out, I don't think it's really the fault of the vacuum. I think it's the fault of the people who use it. Because we have to keep in mind, people of this generation are far more reckless with vacuums than they used to be in the past, from what I heard. So the older sanitaires were being treated better than what these do. Is that really fair to compare in quality? I don't think so. So, I mean, I treat them well, and look at how they turned out. They're really striding, they're really going into the future easily. So that's just what I wanted to put out there, is that Sanitaires are still very good quality vacuums. They just sound different, but they're still just as functional as they used to be. So enough of my blabbling, let's get on with the vacuum.